What does it take to protect 1.6 billion viewers, 48 teams, and 78 games across an entire continent, all in 40 days? Hi, I'm Jane Khodos Beyer, and welcome to the People You Meet in Old Town podcast, a show about the fascinating people of Old Town Alexandria. In this episode, I sit down with Andrew Giuliani, Executive Director of the White House Task Force for FIFA World Cup. Andrew has had a fascinating path to his role, from playing golf at Duke to serving in the White House during President Trump's first term to running for governor of New York. His commitment to public service has taken many forms. And now President Trump has appointed him to lead the federal effort behind the biggest sporting event on the planet. We talk about the massive security and logistics operation behind the scenes, why Old Town Alexandria was chosen as the home base for the Croatian national team, and what this tournament could mean for the future of soccer in America. And because we're both proud New Yorkers, we had to settle a very important debate. Who makes the best pizza, New York or Old Town? So let's welcome Andrew. Andrew, welcome to the podcast. So good to have you here.
Jane, so great to be here. I've been so excited about this podcast. I got to tell you, since you told me about it, and to be a part of this, I'm so excited. So really, great to be here.
You're too good to me. Thank you. Well, we're here to talk about a very important topic that is coming up very, very soon, FIFA World Cup, that's happening in our backyard. And this is really special for us here in Old Town because we have the Croatian team coming to town. So I'm really excited to have you on because you have so much to contribute to this conversation as you're in the middle of this, leading this effort. And so I'd love to first tell our listeners who you are and your fascinating career path, what got you to where you are today.
Yeah, that's always the toughest question. Who are you?
Who are you? Tell us who Andrew is.
Who am I? Oh my goodness, we're getting philosophical here. Who is Andrew Giuliani? I don't know, you stumped me already on that one, but I can tell you what I do. I got what I do.
Well, I did a little bit of research on you.
Tell me who I am.
You started your sports career as playing golf for Duke University. You then went on to the White House, as you mentioned just now, working under President Trump in his first term. You ran for governor of New York, and you were also a media commentator, and now President Trump appointed you to this role. That's amazing and a fascinating path. And a great responsibility for you to be responsible for all these international teams, for all the fans that are attending, all the games and keeping them safe. Tell us a little bit about how this is coming together and all the folks that are involved.
Yeah, the way to put this is when you think about all the different groups and organizations that are together, right? It's not just obviously the federal government, it's state and local government. When you're talking about an event of this size, you need to rely on your state and local partners, both from a governmental perspective, but also especially from a law enforcement perspective. Thinking about a Super Bowl, and I always go back to a Super Bowl because that is our largest event every year. Putting aside, let's say, a joint address to Congress, let's say, or an inauguration or political conventions. This is the largest sporting event that we end up dealing with. But the thing that's unique about this event versus a Super Bowl is you have the whole federal interagency along with state and local law enforcement for a Super Bowl that the first week of February will descend upon a place. This year it was San Francisco, next year it'll be LA. And you have all the resources of that state and local government, of the surrounding states, and of the federal government to pour in that place. The thing that's so different about this is we in the United States alone have 78 of these in 39 days. So in terms of a resource issue, they are going to be spread very thin throughout the course of this summer. Not to mention all the Freedom 250, America 250 events, all the amazing things over our semi-quincentennial. You mentioned New York, they're going to have this incredible Sailforth 250 and this naval review where the tall ships are going to be coming under the Verrazano Narrows into New York Harbor, and it's going to be incredible from July 1st to July 9th. That's also while the World Cup is going on in New York, New Jersey. So, I mean, in terms of the resource pull on NYPD, Jersey State Troopers, on our federal law enforcement partners there, it really, really is unlike any event that we've ever done at this point.
And DHS is leading the effort?
DHS is leading the effort. The White House Task Force, with regard to all things World Cup, is leading it from a federal standpoint. Department of Homeland Security is our funding mechanism, even though we're a White House Task Force. A lot of people don't really realize this. The White House does not have anywhere near the size of the budget as, let's say, the Department of War or the Department of Homeland Security. So many times when they'll create a White House Task Force, they'll end up funding it out of one of the departments. And because this is obviously a massive push for Homeland, a lot of the components of Homeland are going to be present at stadiums. They're going to be around fan festivals. They played a huge role in the planning of this, especially during 2 shutdowns. It's actually been amazing to see what Homeland has done for half the time, it feels like, of this task force, planning with one hand tied behind their back. But that's exactly right. DHS is the funding vehicle. We as a task force have 8 different agencies that are part of the task force. Department of Homeland Security, Department of War plays a key role. Department of Treasury, thinking of potential OFAC issues, everything from IRS and the taxation of FIFA, the players, all of that. Department of Commerce, FBI, Department of Justice, Department of Transportation, because of course we've got to get people around the country when they end up getting in the country, and then the Department of State as well. There's a massive part, but it's really beyond that, right? Over the last weeks, I've been talking to Health and Human Services Secretary Kennedy, it feels like on a daily basis. The FCC, because of the deconfliction of drones around stadiums, so the spectrum angle of that. So I would say it touches the EPA, right? My friend Lee Zeldin, who I ran against for governor, been talking to Lee a ton on some of the environmental issues around stadiums and what that actually looks like when you have all these fans come in, how different fans end up treating the surrounding area, what that actually means for that area, and how the federal government can come on in and help. So it's been fascinating seeing just how much of the federal government this actually ends up touching.
That's incredible, just how you're having to pull on so many different agencies and international governments. That's really an incredible effort, and I'm sure you're quite busy leading up to this effort. So we mentioned that this is under DHS, but President Trump is the executive director of FIFA World Cup, and then Trump chairs it. Vice President J.D. Vance is the vice chair. And what is your title? Tell us kind of how it all works.
Sure. So President Trump is our chairman. The vice president is our vice chair. I think that shows you just how much President Trump wanted this to be a major focus during America's 250th birthday, right? The fact that we're hosting the world here during this, what a great opportunity to show off American exceptionalism. So the president said he was going to be the chair himself on this. And if you look, I mean, it seems like on a monthly basis, we are doing something, whether it's in the Oval Office or at the Kennedy Center for a major event where we can have the World Cup be highlighted here, understanding that you're going to have most of the world focused in on the United States of America here in June and July this year. All of our cabinet members, as I mentioned before, they're task force members. We have some senior staff as well, deputy chiefs of staff in the White House, and I am the executive director of the White House Task Force for the World Cup. And it's been amazing. I think the thing that really has been great is to see just how much our task force members have bought in. Look, they're extremely busy. Secretary Rubio, for example, I don't know how many jobs he has. He's got 20 jobs, depending on what's going on in the week. He's a busy week. So I don't talk to Secretary Rubio on a daily or even a weekly basis. But I think what was really key in the very, very beginning of this, when we set the task force up, I wanted to make sure that we had a direct touch point if we needed to get to the secretary's office, if a decision needed to get up to him right there. Now, most of these guys have had relationships beforehand, whether it's the FBI director or the acting attorney general. But what they did, which was fantastic, was they designated what we call senior coordinating official in each of these agencies that answers directly up to their cabinet secretary or their agency head, and they answer also directly to the task force. So whether there's a hot button visa issue right there, I'm not going to go call Secretary Rubio directly on this unless it's something that's going to get immediate attention. That generally is going to be a process, but it's going to be processed very fast by the Assistant Secretary of Consular Affairs, let's say, in the State Department. Same thing on a homeland basis, although I will say Secretary Mullen has really leaned in on this, and I do feel like I talked more to Secretary Mullen over the last month than I have even my wife at this point. But hopefully that'll change by the time we get to August. That needs to change.
Like June 20th is when it's all over.
July 20th. July
right?
20th, we're done. July 19th is it, and July 20th we turn to a pump. Yeah, they all take my calls now, but on July 20th, nobody's going to take my...
You're all going to go on a well-deserved vacation. Okay, so speaking of the magnitude of this thing, it's 48 teams, 3 countries, dozens of cities, and we talked about the organizations that are involved, but it's also Mexico that is acting as a host country and Canada. So like you said earlier, it's all of North America that's coming together to work together. And so what's the coordination effort like between Mexico and Canada?
It's been great. Actually, just last week was at the United Nations and had another trilateral meeting. I'd say it's probably our 4th trilateral meeting that we've had in the last year between myself, my counterpart in Mexico, and my counterpart in Canada as well. We've done some great things together. Mexico actually hosted the very first trilateral meeting between the 3 countries to advance counter-UAS measures, counter-drone measures for the 3 countries. And we've got some amazing results, which I'd love to get in on that one. Just this last week, we ended up issuing, the 3 governments, a joint statement on health, on Title 42, in terms of what we're doing to protect against outbreaks, understanding that most of the world is not just watching, but a lot of the world is also coming to the United States.
Sure.
That's exactly right. So we realized that it was very, very important that similar health measures that we've taken in from a screening perspective here in the United States of America, that Canada and Mexico did the same. And so I think you see in those coordination steps just how much we, the 3 of us, are all leaning in for this. In terms of the World Cup, it was a united bid. You had U.S., Canada, and Mexico all come together to bid for this. The U.S. will host the majority of games, 78 of the games here in the United States. 13 will be hosted in Mexico, including the opening game. 13 will be hosted in Canada. The cities will be Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Kansas City, Los Angeles, where the men's team will open up in the U.S., San Francisco and Seattle, Mexico City, where the opening match will actually be, Guadalajara and Monterrey, and in Canada, Vancouver and Toronto. So 16 cities across North America, across 40 days. It's going to be a party like nobody's ever seen. Prince is going to have to come back to the dead and sing "Party Like It's 2026" after this. So.
That's awesome. That'll be a fun song to play. So I have to ask, as people are listening to this conversation, as there's more publicity going on around FIFA World Cup, fans are going to want to start buying tickets.
Yeah.
How do they go about acquiring a ticket? What's the cost like? Tell us a little bit more about that. Yeah,
one of the things, and President Trump said this within the last month or so, is that ticket prices are high. I mean, that's one of the things that we've seen throughout this process in the World Cup. And we understand certainly for a lot of these in-demand games, you think about many of the U.S. games, or let's say the Colombia-Portugal match in Miami, where fan bases are extremely enthusiastic and coming en masse. Those ticket prices, many of them are in the 4 figures, right? I think one of the good things that's important to look at this is, if you look at most stadiums across the United States, there are still tickets available for less than $250, including a bunch of them for less than $200. There was a big block that went on sale for $60 in each and every one of the stadiums for each and every game.
It's a good deal.
Obviously, those sold out very, very quickly in understanding that. And the truth is, there were over this is per FIFA, there were over 500 million ticket requests for less than 7 million tickets. So you think of the supply-demand part of that. There was just a huge amount of demand for a limited supply. What we did, we understood that this was going to be an issue early on. We understood that some of the most in-demand games would frankly be unaffordable for a lot of people. And we realized, well, we want to make sure that people have opportunities to be able to enjoy this World Cup, whether they're able to get to a stadium or not. So we ended up pushing forward a few different federal grants out there, one being a $625 million safety and security grant for the 11 host cities. What that did was that really pushed to help underwrite their security for the fan festivals in these different 11 host cities. And actually, for those that are around the Alexandria area, we're happy to announce that there will be a fan festival on the National Mall during the Great American State Fair as well, so people can go. I think it's between 3rd Street Northwest and 4th Street Northwest, so right under the Capitol Dome right there.
Very cool.
Watch the games. I think you can watch every game, if I'm not mistaken there. But that was a major push of this federal funding, so that way people could have no or low price. I think the most expensive a ticket to a fan festival is $10, and many of them, in fact, are free. So then that way people could really get in, enjoy this World Cup, even if tickets were potentially unattainable.
Okay, very exciting. Good deal. Thank you for explaining all that to us. So DC is putting on this event that you just mentioned, but not to be outdone, Old Town Alexandria is also very involved, and they're having a festival. It's centered around Croatia, and the reason for that is because the Croatian national soccer team chose Old Town as their home base, and that's really fun and exciting. And I saw a funny headline, Axios, right? And they said Old Town's going to be overrun by Croatian hunks. And I was just giggling to myself, like, that is the best headline I've seen.
That's pretty funny. That was pretty good.
That's pretty funny. So we're excited to host the Team Croatia here in Old Town. But do you know how this happened, how they chose Old Town, how that came to be?
Yeah, so during the Club World Cup last year, which was another tournament that was run by FIFA, which our task force was responsible for the safety and security and visas and everything else there, FIFA started looking around the country at potential base camps. And Alexandria was one of the places that they looked at, Episcopal High School and the AKA in Alexandria as the hotel, as a place, understanding that it was a really great base for people to be able to, for teams to be able to camp out. The host countries got to choose first, right? So the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. U.S. is known for a long time that they're going to be playing on the West Coast. Their base is going to be in Orange County. Mexico, Canada, same thing. They knew their schedules. They chose. But then, after the draw happened on December 5th, they started going one by one, and they listed out, these are your options. You're going to be playing, let's say, in Dallas, Kansas City, and Guadalajara. You want something more centrally located. For the Croatian team, they actually start in Dallas, they go to Toronto for their second game, and they end in Philadelphia for their third game. So Alexandria being a pretty central location to
Hub
be able to get to.
airport nearby.
Exactly, Hub airport nearby.
Yeah.
I think the really exciting,
That's smart.
Exactly. The really exciting thing about the Croatian team too is they've had incredible success the last couple of World Cups. In 2018, they actually were the finalists. They finished second place. Really, really amazing. And they backed that up in 2022 by making it to the semifinals of the World Cup, only losing to the eventual champion Messi in the semifinals and the Argentinian team. So it's pretty exciting when you end up looking at that. I think also the men can be excited for something as well. If you're looking at the competitive side, girls could be excited about the soccer hunks, and us guys, we could be excited about the play that's going to be happening on the field.
And I bet this is going to spike our tourism to their country. I've been to Croatia twice. It's a really beautiful country.
I've yet to go. I can't wait after this. I've got a whole list of things to do after this World Cup wraps up. I'll put Croatia on toward the top of that list.
Absolutely. So for listeners who live here, what might they actually notice? Are they going to be attending local bars? Will they be spending a lot of time here in Old Town? Well,
it's been cool. I've already seen on King Street a few of the Croatian flags going up there, which has been fun to see Old Town starting to embrace this. I know they play their last friendly on June 7th, which means they'll probably come into the country June 8 or June 9. So they'll land here. They'll start preparing for their games. They'll probably leave for Dallas if their first game is June 17th, match day -2, so June 15th. So they'll probably have about a week here before they go to Dallas. They'll come right back after Dallas on June 17th after they play their match against England, by the way, who's one of the favorites. But then they'll come back here. It's interesting. I think each coach and each team probably will handle it very differently in terms of what they'll allow their players to, what they won't allow their players to. Probably not the best preparation, and I'm not a soccer coach over here, but as somebody who used to play a little bit on a much lower level, probably not the best preparation to be drinking till 2 o'clock in the morning if you want to go and play a great 90-minute match over there. Sure. So my guess is they're probably not going to be in the bars, but could you see them around town, maybe going out for dinner, stuff like that? I think there's a real possibility. And actually, that's one of the things as a task force we've really wanted to do. We've engaged with a lot of the local governments and a lot of the local municipalities that are going to be hosting these base camps, realizing that, yeah, Croatia will be in Dallas, but they'll be in Dallas for a short time, or Toronto for a short time, or Philly for a short time. They're going to be in Alexandria if they go deep into the tournament for 30, 40 days potentially. It's a great opportunity to be able to create a bond that can be lasting, that can leave a legacy. Maybe Croatian fans that didn't get to come here for the World Cup, they're able to see on Croatian media, oh, wow, Alexandria looks fantastic. The next time we come to the United States of America, we're going to go to Alexandria.
They will be attracted to Old Town as well in the future, and they'll be educated about our wonderful city.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. And that's one of the things that we've really tried to stress the importance of to these local municipalities that may not be hosting World Cup games, but are going to be hosting. So it's great to see Alexandria leaning in, doing a celebration here for the Croatian team coming in. And it'll be exciting to see how the Croatian team hopefully embraces Alexandria the way Alexandria is already embracing the Croatians.
Yeah, we're pretty darn excited.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm from Europe, and soccer is obviously really big. Football is obviously really big globally, right? Not so much in America. I think people were really excited and understood the game a bit more with Ted Lasso, our favorite coach. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the rest of the world loves football so much?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say it that way because it's not football. And here in the U.S., it's not. American football is the more dominant sport, isn't it?
Well, I had the opportunity actually to speak to the U.S. men's national team a couple of days ago. And Coach Pochettino has the team, I think, in a really great space. And I told them, I said, the world may know this as football, but this summer we're going to make sure the world knows it as soccer with this U.S. team. We're very excited about that. Look, it's the world's game, right? I had a good friend who went to Africa recently, and he said every single place he saw TV, he saw a soccer game going on, a football game going on, right? Same thing in Europe. I mean, I remember as a young man going to Italy and being in Rome, and it was 11 o'clock at night, and I was jet lagged somehow, and I remember walking the streets and seeing like 40 people outside of an electronics store with, lawn chairs sitting out there, big puffs of smoke and all that, and they were all looking at a soccer game, and the owner of the electronics store kept the TV on so that way people could gather in the plaza there to be able to enjoy it. So, I mean, this is something that going back generations and generations in European and South American cultures that they've done. They've handed off as a family thing to do. We have so many other sports, right? We have American football. We have baseball, our national pastime. Obviously, hockey and golf. Golf, of course. Thank you for mentioning golf over there.
Your favorite.
Basketball. With the Knickerbockers in the NBA Finals, we got to mention basketball as New Yorkers over here. But I think the thing that to really point out with soccer, while it's not yet as popular as maybe a couple of our major sports in the United States of America, it is trending faster than any other sport over the last 35 years. And I'll point to a couple things. In 1994, the World Cup came to the United States of America. By that point, the U.S. men's national team, up to that point, had very little national success, had very little success in events. They end up qualifying through the group stage. They end up having success. You could see then a couple years later, Major League Soccer ended up getting started. And now Major League Soccer has a few of the most highest valued teams in the world, believe it or not. I think they have 3 that are over $1 billion, maybe 4 that are over $1 billion. So, I mean, competing up there, and Lionel Messi plays in here, right? You've got some great players that are playing in MLS. Then you add that to the 1999 Women's World Cup, where, of course, the U.S. won in dramatic fashion in penalty kicks, Mia Hamm being the star of that team. A lot of people remember Brandi Chastain winning that final, making that final penalty kick, and how incredible that was. That then led to the creation of the NWSL. And I got to tell you, I was at a Washington Spirit game about a month ago or so, and it was packed, absolutely packed on a Friday night, complete sellout, and incredible enthusiasm there. So to see this, the trend over the last 30 years has been amazing in the United States with soccer. We think that with a successful 2026 World Cup and maybe a Women's World Cup in 2031, that we will see soccer supercharge. And as an American football fan and a golf fan, I'm bittersweet about some of this stuff. But I will say I really do think that soccer in the next 5 or 10 years could become even maybe the second most popular sport in the United States. Very
cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that as a soccer fan myself. All right, Andrew, I'm going to make a hard pivot here.
Okay.
And that is to a very important topic.
Yes.
Pizza.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
And
I like it. I'm smelling something. This is good.
As fellow New Yorkers, this topic is close to our hearts, isn't it? And we were recently talking about this at dinner, and I thought, man, we've got to educate people. And so I'd love to get your take about the best pizza in New York.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, I realized also, talking to the national team coach the other day, Coach Pochettino, they did their big reveal, their roster reveal, at Pier 17, which for people that don't know, that's the old South Street Seaport,
Sure.
Fulton Street Fish Market and all that stuff. Right there, beautiful view on the East River. You're looking at the Brooklyn Bridge right there. And I start talking to the coach. I said, Coach, you don't realize, like, if you guys just would have went over the Brooklyn Bridge and did a button hook, you got two of the best pizza places in the world between L&B Spumoni Gardens, which we know the original is in Bensonhurst, right? We know the original
Yes, we love that one. I'm a Brooklynite, so
yeah, that's exactly right. But
we're aligned on that.
The U.S. national team only has so much time. They got to go and be able to do this. So we want to make sure we're efficient with their time. And right across the street is Grimaldi's right there. And so, I go back and forth. L&B Spumoni Gardens, Grimaldi's Pizza, unbelievable. Then if you come back and maybe go into the West Village, you got three of my favorite pizza places in the entire world. Bleecker Street Pizza, I always get the Nonna Maria when I go to Bleecker Street Pizza. John's of Bleecker, which I know Portnoy loves, and it's really, really fantastic. You got to go by the pie there, so make sure you go with a couple people if you're doing a pizza tour. And then Joe's as well, Joe's is on 6th Avenue. So if I'm doing a couple of pizza tours, that's it right there. But I could also say, go up to Patsy's on 118th Street. I mean, there's so many great pizza. I've actually heard that over the last year or so, there's been a bunch of new places that have come in around Greenwich Village and all that I've got to try out. So my tasting might even be a little bit dated here.
You can do a whole pizza crawl in New York.
You know what? If we do this, we won't even make the World Cup. So this is going to have to be one of those post-World Cup things over here. But what about you? Tell me your favorite pizza
Okay,
place.
so I gotta bring it.
You.
I'm totally aligned with you in terms of Spumoni Gardens.
Yeah.
I grew up going to Spumoni Gardens. Love that place, right? It just brings back so many great childhood memories.
You get the square.
Get the square.
Get the square.
But I want to bring it back to Old Town because I live here now, and one of my favorite places in Old Town is Cooper Mill Pizza. And actually, we have.
Oh, very nice. I like it. Okay, that's good.
We have some pizza from Cooper Mill here,
Okay.
so we don't have a plate, so we're gonna be animals for a second.
Here we go. Ladies first.
And have a slice.
Okay.
All right.
Here we go.
Thank you for late night delivery of this lovely pizza.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at that right there.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay,
Cheers.
salute. That's good.
Well,
That's good. I like it.
it's totally off my diet, but
Yeah. No,
what are you gonna do?
We're not intermittent fasting today, so it's not happening. But this is great.
It's good pizza.
Nice pizza. Nice thin crust. I like how they did with the cheese right here. It's good. Yeah, it's pretty solid. I haven't done my rating system yet. I guess it's got to be probably a goal system or something like that. How many goals? I don't know, how many caps or something like that. We'll get the soccer parlay in there. The U.S. national team made it very clear. One of the support guys the other day, I said goaltender. They're like, no. It's the keeper, the goalkeeper here. I gotten pitched down, right? It's match, it's not game. But I still keep going back to goaltender. That's a goalkeeper.
Speaking of Old Town, you have a little napkin for you.
I appreciate it.
So speaking of Old Town, I like to do a little lightning round with our guests because besides pizza places, there are lots of great bars and restaurants, and would love to get your take on some of the other places. As a New Yorker, I'm sure you have exquisite taste in bagels. So, coffee or bagel go-to place?
In Old Town Alexandria, I got to be perfectly honest. I have been intermittent fasting the whole year, so I have not done bagels in a year. It's been crazy, except for around Christmas when I went back up to New York. I haven't done bagels, so you're going to have to educate me on what's the best bagel place.
I like Call Your Mother.
Okay, Call Your Mother.
Yes, they have a location in Georgetown and here.
Yeah.
You can just walk there, get your steps in, walk back.
I love it. And you call your mother on the way,
But yeah, it's lovely.
Okay, Call Your Mother. I love Swig's Coffee. Now, I think Swig's is in actually the district, but at DHS, they actually use Swig's Coffee. And I got to tell you, it's one of the best cold brews I've had. I've been living off of it.
I love cold brews. I've not tried that. I'll have to give it a go.
Fantastic. They do a great job of it. Strongly recommend.
Nice. Okay. Best dinner spot in Old Town?
Ooh, Landini Brothers, right? You get a nice, great Italian meal right there. Some great red sauce, bolognese.
Yeah. What do you order there?
It's fantastic. I go back and forth. I do either the bolognese or the chicken parmesan, right? I mean, it's I'm going for a hearty meal if I go there. I've done the clams before too, very good as well. But I really love it. And I've got to tell you, I really like Mia's across the way as well. I know they're competing and all that, but I think Mia's does a really good job too. So
good in different ways. I like the meatball at Mia's.
Yeah, they have a great meatball. Really good. What about you?
Meatballs. Oh gosh, I like Josephine's.
Okay. So many great
Plus
places,
one to
right?
Landini's. I like Thompson's Italian down the street.
I haven't tried Thompson. You have to try
You got to put that on your list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
Okay.
Okay, best place to grab a drink.
Oh, man. Good question. I just have not, this last year, I just haven't really had that much. I guess I like going to, is it Barca on the water there?
Barca on the water. I love Barca.
I love that, right? It's nice.
So
We've
good.
done that once or twice last summer, and I really enjoyed that. That was really nice.
I'll give you another one,
Yeah.
and that is the study at the Morrison Hotel.
Ah,
And funnily enough, the room we're in was inspired by that bar.
Really?
Yeah, so if you
Okay, very nice.
so I walked in, quick little sidebar, but I walked in, just like absolutely love the decor there. So next time you're there, you're gonna go, okay, I know what she's talking about. But I just love the decor. And
awesome.
I went, what is this paint color? So I went back to the hotel one day and I asked them to please give me their paint color. And so they were kind enough to do that for me. And so it's a custom color from Sherwin-Williams. And so this room that we're sitting in is inspired by the study from the Morrison Hotel. They make great drinks.
Yeah.
They have like piano playing in the background. It's lovely.
Yeah, well, I really like this room. Very sophisticated, very nice. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
it's great. So I'm going to have to go there and enjoy a drink after July 20th. So.
Thank you. Exactly. You'll have a little bit more time than you do now. Okay. Best place to watch a game in Old Town?
Oh, man. Again, I just have not, the last year, I wish I could tell you I've ventured out as much, but it's been such a whirlwind over the last year that you're going to have to educate me on all this. I feel like we're going to have to come back and I'm going to have to give you my best places in like 6 months when I have the opportunity to venture out more.
So my recommendation for you, and putting this on our to-do list, is to go to Augie's because they have a little front yard and they have big screen TVs and it's quite fun.
I'm in. That sounds great.
So we'll have to check that out.
That sounds great.
All right. Well, Andrew, this was such a fun conversation. I know you're incredibly busy, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your insane schedule right now to come have a chat about this wonderful game that's coming up. And you're doing God's work protecting all these humans and making sure all these games go on without a hitch.
Well, thank you, Jane. I appreciate it. And really, I got to say, it's an honor to play a small part of this, but really it's all the incredible men and women that Department of Homeland Security came to work every single day in spite of not getting paychecks for months and months and months. It's the over 400 law enforcement agencies that are involved in protecting fans and players and everybody else throughout the course of this. It's the 300,000 accredited personnel throughout this event. So, I play a role in this, but really without the incredible teamwork here of not just our federal partners, but also our state and local partners as well, we would be able to pull this off. So God willing, we're able to show off the United States in the best light here for this incredible 40-day stretch. And the rest of the world can come in, enjoy, see what American exceptionalism is all about over this incredible stretch.
Yeah.
And help celebrate our 250th birthday with us.
Absolutely. And to your point about dedication, I have other friends besides you who work in DHS who also were not paid, and they're so dedicated to the mission, and it's just incredible and inspiring to watch folks go to work knowing that it doesn't matter. Yeah, the paycheck matters, but they're so dedicated to the mission and to protecting our country, and it's really inspiring. So thank you for all that you're doing, Andrew. Thank you again for coming on, and I'm excited to watch the games.
Thank you, Jane. This is a blast.